I don't have no load right now.
Trucking in the United States is getting ready to suffer.
Speak English or get out. That's pretty much what the new law says about truck drivers.
Do you know a trucker? Because they might not have a job much longer. Driverless trucks just started operating in Texas.
Because of President Trump's tariffs, with hard-hit truckers taking another blow. Layoffs are beginning in the trucking industry as American ports are seeing a big drop in cargo ship arrivals, meaning less to haul across our country.
Next to a bunch of truck chassis because they're parked and they're not in use. And look on the other side there. They're stacked up, and in this truck yard alone, there are about 100 chassis stacked up because they don't need them. They're typically out on the roadways. Like everyone else along America's massive supply chain, truckers expect things to go from bad to worse.
This yard costs us money, this equipment costs us money, our chassis costs us money, our employees cost us money, electricity costs us money, right? So after 6 months, I would say we would be in pretty dire situations. And that's just us. And there's hundreds of companies like us who would probably be in this, most likely be in the same situation, if not worse.
Here's Joe from Georgia. Trucking in the United States is getting ready to suffer. And truckers who depend on those shipments for their jobs are going to be unemployed, especially if you're operating on the west coast of America. Because all those shipments that go to China that aren't going to happen because of the tariffs, those shippings go to California ports. Well, in May of 2020, during COVID, there was 50 blank sailings in California going to China. That means canceled sailings where full ships would go to China. Now, 50 in 2020 in COVID. This past month, in the beginning of April, there's been 80 already. And someone said it. This is going to make COVID look like good times.
Another worse week for the trucking industry. I'm actually sitting in Seattle, Washington right now without a load. I dropped my load 8 o'clock in the morning and it's already 1 o'clock that I'm sitting here waiting for the load. A lot of people been asking me, does it gonna get fixed? Is it gonna get better? I have no fucking clue what is gonna happen because day by day it's getting worse and worse. I have no clue. I haven't seen trucking industry like this in the past 10 years. This is the worst year for the trucking industry. Worst year. And when I came to a truck stop, I reserved a shower. There were 23 people in front of me in the line. 23 people. It's been 4 hours I'm waiting for the shower. And they still 3 people ahead of me. Still. So you can imagine that how many people are sitting at this truck stop without a load. All the truck drivers, we have nothing else to do besides taking shower all day. Pray for everybody. Stay safe on the road.
All right, so this is for my drivers, right? I work LTL, right? So I pretty much pick up from a terminal and drop it off at another terminal. That's pretty much my job, right? Now, people that do that type of work, where you're bouncing from one terminal to another terminal, are your trailers super light? Has it kicked in yet? Are you guys noticing yet? Right? I've been working here for about a year and some change, and we never used to get dispatched with a trailer under 28,000 pounds. This week alone, I have not gotten a trailer over, we haven't been dispatched with a trailer over 22,000 pounds. I mean, am I tripping or what? Is it just me or what's going on?
So, yesterday, what's up, TikTok? What's up, peeps? Yesterday, I had a load going to Cleveland, Ohio, going to San Antonio, Texas. I got halfway here and they canceled the shit. So there I sat. This is 2 days without a load. I understand not hauling cheap freight, but don't make a driver sit for 2 damn days without nothing and no pay or nothing. So I'm about ready to say fuck it rent me a car and load my shit and just go home. I'm not here not to make no money. You think I'm out here on this road because I don't want to be around my family? What the fuck? Get it together, people. I can go home and make no money. Fuck it. Later, TikTok. Later, peeps.
Trucking has completely went flat bottom, man. I can honestly tell you these past 3 weeks, this is including the third week that I'm in right now, you get a few runs here and there. I'm in Chicago, right? And it's getting bad. You know, I don't know, what do you tell your drivers, right? You just give them the whole concept of be patient. Obviously, watching the news, I'm not only a truck driver, I own trucks. I got drivers, man, you know? I don't know what else to say or do. Obviously, Trump is doing what he needs to do, right? On paper, it looks good. It looks right. But we're going to have to try to weather the tide, you know what I'm saying? But, man, I mean, it's getting bad, right? And I know a lot of people in other businesses that are complaining too, right? Everybody's watching the news, waiting for this whole situation to die down with this whole tariff thing back and forth. And I don't see no end in sight. I know some of my guys that are owner-operators, a lot of them gave up not having a plan in place after they quit. And they just saying, hey, I'm going to wing it. I don't know. I'll figure something out. But, man, me personally, my advice, anybody, it doesn't matter if you're a truck driver now. Whatever you're doing for a living and you don't want to do that no more, find you another source of income before you quit. Never quit until you have another option, right? You're going to quit and just sit there and wait. What are you going to do? My advice, man, do not quit something until you have something in line, ready to go.
What's going on, drivers? So, with all these cheap-ass loads on the board, how are you covering them? I mean, how are you actually hauling them and making a profit on it? Because I don't see it. I mean, at $2.50 a mile, and with your insurance, wear and tear, your maintenance, fuel, there's no money to be made. Let that shit sit there. It ain't gonna move. Let them come up on their rates. I don't care if it's the broker or the broker saying it's the customer that it's the cheap shit, but the only way that you're gonna change it is to let it sit there. Stop hauling this cheap ass shit. Let it sit there. Adios.
Guys, things are a lot worse than I actually thought it was. I just got finished looking at about 6 TikToks, and not just TikTok videos, but videos on other social media platforms about a lot of the American truck drivers, as far as like the semi-truck drivers who do the over-road driving, transporting goods from the ports to our local stores. A lot of the truck drivers are really hurt right now. I watched at least 3 videos where the truck drivers are saying just in this short amount of time with the tariffs going on that they have to actually sell their entire truck. A lot of those people pay at least $255,000 for the semi. So for those of you who don't know what those trucks cost, they cost around 200 and something thousand. One guy said the best offer that he got on the semi truck was $140,000, and the semi truck is actually a 2020, a 2020. That's just shy of 5 years old. So it's real out here when the truck drivers start speaking out about what's going on with them. They're experiencing a huge shortage where it comes to them being contractors, being contracted out to ship stuff for this company and ship stuff for that company. A lot of those guys that's even saying that selling their trucks, they're applying for local jobs where they can drive for a company. And they said a lot of those companies that ships products are actually laying their employees off. Or some of them are even cutting their employees' hours. So it's definitely real. Just seeing the videos like that just let me know just how serious things are, because these are people making videos that lives are really 100% being impacted by the tariffs. We would have never thought in a million years that putting tariffs on China and putting tariffs on these other countries would affect the United States so fast. I would have never thought that the impact would be so fast. The store shelves, a lot of the store shelves really are running empty right now. A lot of people are still using their overstocked products that they ordered from these companies, meaning that shipments are still coming in because they were ordered before the tariffs were implemented. And so they have to honor what's been implemented, basically like a contract type deal. So things are more serious than I thought it was, man. And like, if this is like only the second day of May 2025, I mean, I hate to see what the second and third week of May is going to look like. And we are just in the second day of May, and we're already seeing a humongous catastrophic breakdown of people already talking about losing their jobs when it comes to trucking and transporting food from one state to the next state. The ports are just really, it's bad. What's going on at the ports right now, it's bad. And you know what's really worse? A lot of those jobs are actually union jobs, and the union can't really do anything about that. They can't really override the president of the United States. So I wanted to just bring you guys that, man. That's really some heartbreaking, sad news, man. Thank you guys for watching.
Do you know a trucker? Because they might not have a job much longer. Driverless trucks just started operating in Texas with no one behind the wheel. Aurora, a self-driving tech company, just launched full commercial service. They're moving real freight between Dallas and Houston for Uber Freight and Hirschbach motor lines. No safety driver, no backup, just AI in control of 80,000 pounds of cargo. And here's why this matters. Trucking is the most common job in over half the states in America. Roughly 3.5 million people make their living driving trucks. But Aurora trucks, they don't call in sick, they don't need breaks, and they don't form unions. And here's the part that's going to push companies to adopt this even faster. These trucks can run 24/7. No hours of service rules, no required rest stops. They don't get tired. That means you don't need as many trucks, and you definitely don't need as many drivers. For companies that are chasing profit, that's a dream. And for workers, it's a disaster. And this isn't decades away. This is not a theory. This is happening right now. It's scaling fast with no national conversation, no job protections, and no real plans for what comes next. Because when machines can work around the clock without complaint, the pressure is not just on truckers, it's coming for every job that can be automated.
It's time to speak up. Have you heard the phrase tariff trucking apocalypse yet? Because it's not just a dramatic headline, it's happening right now. Container imports to the United States just dropped 64% in a single month. You heard that right. And this time it's not from a global pandemic. It's policy induced. New tariffs, especially on goods that come from China, have created shockwaves. Importers are pulling back cargo ships. They're just not coming. They're not coming to land in our ports. And port traffic is slowing to a crawl. Guess who suffers? Port workers with fewer shifts, truckers with no containers to haul, warehouse employees who are having shifts cut, rail freight workers who have nothing to load, and small business drivers who are drowning in the debt from rigs they can't keep busy. During COVID, we saw reduced numbers of cargo ships coming to our ports. But in April of this year, we had more ships abandon our ports than we did at the height of COVID. And what's worse, this time, the pain to the American economy, it's deliberate. We're bleeding jobs and calling it patriotism. And while politicians brag on being tough about countries who are unfair to us in trade, Americans are the ones paying the price. At the pump, at the grocery store, and with the pink slips. And if you care about working class families, truckers, food prices, you need to care about tariffs, because the shipping slowdown isn't just global, it's local, and it's already here. Go love your neighbor.
If you guys thought that the job market was cooked before, just realize that in the last 100 days, 300,000 Americans have lost their jobs. That is larger than the population of Pittsburgh. Now imagine the entire population of Pittsburgh looking for work simultaneously. UPS, Intel, Amazon, the federal government have announced massive layoffs across the board. Like I said, it's not just the private sector. One of the biggest things affecting this is 121,000 federal employees losing their job over the last 100 days. And because of the tariffs, they're saying that over the next few months, literally millions of workers could be losing their jobs. That's truck drivers, port workers, warehouse workers, import-export agents. And for anybody who has been looking for a job over the last couple of years, they will tell you that it is incredibly difficult right now to find any sort of meaningful work, especially in the field in which you studied. But it is only going to get more difficult because as millions, potentially millions of newly unemployed Americans hit the job market at the same time as AI is replacing people, it is going to be almost impossible. And let me tell you, one of the biggest factors is going to be those 121,000 and climbing federal employees who have been laid off because they are typically highly trained, highly skilled, highly educated. They've got like PhDs, they've got master's degrees. These people, and they're not going to just be looking in their field, guys. Let me tell you, in 2009, when the financial collapse hit, people switched jobs all over but they switched careers like crazy. Dude, I was working in a restaurant and there were people with master's degrees coming in to serve tables. People will become real estate agents. People will become teachers, anything that they can do to survive. So if you think that your job is going to be okay, you're going to be just fine, let me tell you right now, it is going to get incredibly competitive. And if you've already been having a hard time finding work, it's going to be almost impossible. Everybody needs to start working on their networking again and working on their side hustles. So networking is going to be one of the big things. Start reconnecting with people that you knew from high school, people that you knew from previous jobs. Start, chatting with them again, because when time comes, that is going to be one of the biggest things. If there are jobs out there, knowing somebody in the business, knowing somebody that can recommend you is going to be invaluable. So make sure you guys are networking like crazy. And then your side hustles. If you work in an office or something, go start picking up shifts at a restaurant. If you've never served tables before, learn, because it is one of those things that you can fall back on if you absolutely need to. You need to have something where if you cannot find a job for months, you're able to somehow support yourself. Whether that be DoorDash, go start DoorDashing, go start doing Spark Driver on the weekends, because I'm telling you, the layoffs are coming. The economy is about to crash. And if I lived through the 2009 recession, I know that working your side hustles, whether it be 2, 3, 4 of them, is going to be incredibly important. And again, nothing beats networking. For young people, honestly, consider moving back in with your parents. Start moving in with roommates. Start doing anything you can to survive. Dude, there's people that are going to start moving into storage units. I promise you that. We're going to start seeing an epidemic of people moving into storage units because it's just going to get that bad. But realistically, move back in with your parents. Start saving money. The worst is coming, guys. I want everybody to realize that, and everybody needs to start preparing for it.
Speak English or get out. That's pretty much what the new law says about truck drivers. You need to go ahead and speak English in order for you to drive a truck. But what do you think is going to happen now with these facilities, these shippers and receivers? Let's say there are going to be some drivers that are just going to go ahead and disregard that law 100%. But what if the shippers and receivers then start saying, hey, we're not going to break the law. It's the law. You need to speak English. Otherwise, you're not going to get loaded. So do you guys think that only DOT is going to go ahead and enforce this law, or are shippers and receivers also going to go ahead and put their foot down? And it might not stop there. We've all been there in some truck stops where somebody doesn't speak English and they're holding up the line, and it's just like a big mess just because they don't understand what's going on. Could it be that also truck stops are just going to go ahead and flat out refuse to help you out? I mean, wouldn't you be helping a criminal at that point? I'm just curious to see how far this will go. What are your thoughts?
Sol Rocha has been a truck driver for 17 years.
We need to open the door to opportunity for everybody.
While he says there is a need for driver, Rocha sees the logic behind the executive order signed by President Donald Trump on Monday.
If you can't read or understand a certain sign that's a little dangerous, it could affect all of us.
The new order requires truckers to demonstrate proficiency using the English language before getting behind the wheel. According to the executive order, proficiency means drivers can read and understand traffic signs and communicate with traffic safety, border patrol, and agricultural checkpoints, as well as others.
Es una ley inefasta.
It's an awful law, Yoman Rivera told me.
En mis 15 años como camionero.
In my 15 years as truck driver, I never had an issue with English. Rivera claims he recognized the signs and communicated with officers with his limited English.
First off.
But according to Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, there are documented cases where drivers' inability to read signs and speak the language may have contributed to a series of fatal accidents.
We have to watch out for lives. I mean, that's most important, right? It depends on how many people are affected.
and how many people decide to exit the industry because of this.
Rivera says he's already seen many truck drivers putting their trucks on sale. He also says the consumer is the one who will suffer. Rocha agrees.
It would affect the consumer by not picking up on time, by not delivering on time, or in between transit from shipping to receipt.
Ports are empty but full of trucks.